See, this is why we check the mic, people. Live from the Crescent Moon Temple. It's the morning show. Let's quickly check the chat room. There is nobody home. We failed the mic test. Okay, are we here? Oh my God. We're all right. Nothing's on fire. The host, the guest, the audience. It's what I hear to be. Let's just adjust the volume. It all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure that I can do it all if I do it my own way. Okay. One last quick mic check. Is it on? Are we working? Is it on? Jeez. Double check, quick integration. Looks like we're good to go. Okay. Pick a topic of conversation. Connection is kind of slow. Looking at 2.5% drop frames. Is this thing even cooking today? Food processing, do some video games, maybe play blueprints. Hope I'm not insane. The host, the guest, the audience. It's what I'm here to be. There's no one even out there. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure that I can make my life great if I do it my own way. Host, the guest, the audience, it's what I've got to be. There's nobody else out there. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. If I want to make my life great, I got to do it my own way. Oh yeah. Today on the morning show, we are, I don't know. What are we doing on the morning show today? Well, we'll figure something out. Cue music. Yeah, the creepy stuff. Today's a Monday. I think I've got 3 days off starting Wednesday. Tuesday night, we may start some serious upgrades. Kind of want to stay focused on what I'm doing for just a little longer. Let's see, what would be a good topic for today? What would be a good topic for today? I don't know. It's the 19th. It is 19th. It is the 19th. It is time, perhaps, to talk about the big one. I think it might be time to talk about the big one. Might be time. You know, I think we can get serious today. I think we can get serious today. Yeah. Let me see if I can find some appropriate equipment. So yesterday, I started the work of creating some new channel tools. And today, is my mic on? Yes. Paranoid. Yes. Today, I'd like to get around to revising that. Because you see, today is the start of 8th moon. Today is the start of 8th moon. Like, what the hell does that mean? Eighth moon? What is eighth moon? All right, we're gonna switch over now. Let's get started, shall we? In order to understand the significance of eighth moon, I first have to describe the lunar cycle. But for that, I want to back up. Let's begin at the beginning. I spent the first 12 years of my life as a snot rag, just doing what all snot rags do, scrambling around like a dork, and by 1994, I had figured out that I was a genius. And they started teaching me to be a genius. I went from school to school, doing what I could do. My high school life was a bit on the nondescript side. I did some database programming and some long distance running. I was a bit of a goof. I bet most of my high school classmates remember me, probably. I was pretty memorable as far as kids go, you know. Let's go ahead and start some tea while I describe the layout here. First off, once I got out of school, I went to college for a while, studying circuitry engineering. I learned a lot there. Did that for about a year or so before coming home, starting to study computer information systems. 2004, I entered the workforce and took on my first job as a janitor. There's good honor in being a janitor. Let's see if I can find my listings. Right. Did what I did, working from job to job, made ice cream, cleaned laundry, worked at a gas station, sold calendars. Pretty much a little bit of everything before finally settling into my current task. I did some janitorial work. I made sandwiches for a living. And gradually became a greengrocer. That's what I do. I'm a grocer. I think it's good work. There were 3 years of my life where things were really, really beautiful. Between 2019 and 2021. By 2022, that had all dissolved. It was quite gone. I came back to my roots in 2023. And then last year, in 2025, I became aware that the tides of my life were going to start shifting again. My life tends to transition in long shifts. Let me get the volume down on that very slight. The lurch happens and everything in my life changes all at once. And then it becomes sort of stead and quiet for a while. So I became aware with my new job that everything was going to have to change. I had been in existence, just sort of floating. In June of 2025, it happened. I became aware that things were going to change. I had gained future sight for a little while, which happens every now and then to me. Through quantum entanglement, I became aware What would happen was going to happen. All at once, things lurched forward. Let me see if I can find the exact schedule. First moon began back in, I think it was, let me see here, 3, right. First moon happened on July 1st. Or rather, June 30th to be precise. In first moon, I realized that I was going to have to stop being an overlord. I didn't know what was about to happen, but I knew it was about to happen. Then a few days later, I discovered that my parents were going to have to sell their farm, due mainly to property taxes, and that I would need to find another place to live. So that's what happened through most of first moon. I spent most of second moon figuring out where I was going to go, what I was going to do. Third moon was largely spent trying to get myself set up and squared away and moving into my new home. During fourth moon, I became intensely sick and struggled to survive. As the fifth moon rose, I became consumed by shadows. Let's see, fifth moon, that's back in October, November, right around there. And then sixth moon, I felt the draw. I felt the path open to me. I want to be an overlord again. To do that, I have to have land, which means I need to save money, which means I need to be a sage. So, I am currently the sage of the Crescent Moon Temple. But I am astutely aware that there's only so much that one sage can do. The primary goal is to save up money and acquire a piece of land. To be able to manage this, I'm going to have to save cash, and I need to develop my systems constantly. But system development is challenging. There are resources that are constantly getting pulled on when you develop systems. I'll explain about those in brief now. Human beings have 3 primary sources of power, and they all overlap. We use them in different levels with everything we do. The first is drive. Drive helps us act on our habits. Humans who have drive will be able to satisfy their needs and deal with their reality. When you run out of drive, you go find a corner to pass out in, you go to bed, you stop everything and eat. That's no more drive. You become incapable of acting on your most basic human desires when your drive runs out. Then there's willpower. As I mentioned in an earlier stream, acting by habit is subconscious, but using your conscious mind in order to do something that is not habit, that doesn't necessarily satisfy one of the core motives, demands willpower. It drains it from you. And this is a chemical that you are limited by. When your chemicals run out, it gets extremely hard to push yourself to do things that don't satisfy those core motives. So, there's a situation where you have to decide what you're going to spend it on. This willpower, and then there's agency. Agency is used to do new things. We get a limited amount of that too, and it uses different chemicals, but similar ones, to willpower. So there's drive, doing things that are established, and it's mainly limited by exhaustion. And then there's willpower, the ability to push into doing things that are not habits yet and may not become habits because they're not pleasant or effective. Willpower is mainly limited by the amount of pressure a person is under. A person under a lot of pressure won't do that. And then there's agency, the ability to do something new. Agency is limited by load. The more things a person is doing and thinking about, the less room there is to do something new. Until a person is so bogged down by the weight of all the things they're doing, they can't concentrate on anything else. The good news is, the power of the habit system is on our side. Mine too. The more frequently I do something, the more it becomes habit. And I don't need to use willpower or agency further to keep doing it. The morning show, when I first started it on January 1st, took a big surge of agency. And then it took willpower to force myself to get up in the morning, every morning at 8 a.m. and start the show. The good news is, it has paid out. At this point, the morning show is a habit. It's not a strong habit because I don't benefit a lot, but it is a habit because I benefit some. And so I broadcast the morning show every single day, and I stream the morning show every single afternoon, partly in the hopes of forming emotional connections with others, partly to organize my own thoughts. It's useful. Now it's time to expand what I'm doing. What I need to do is properly respect my agency, which allows me to add new features, and my willpower, which allows me to reinforce features that I think should be useful. Now understand that it's not the same as drive. I spend a lot of drive every day when I'm working.
Oh, well, I'm going to need different things in order to keep going.
So, what I have to do is very carefully spend my agency and willpower, probably this weekend. First off, to do some laundry, because that's got to get done. Drive will help with that a little bit, but I'm going to need some willpower too. And then second, I want to develop some new systems. We've got a great new piece of art here. I like this quite a bit. For those who are struggling to remember, here's my original portrait. And then this is the picture that Trua drew of me. Isn't that fantastic? I think that's great. And here's my new form. Pika drew this for me. Isn't that nice? Yeah. I have an actual picture now. That's pretty slick. So, at this point, what I'm doing is getting myself around. And I have to acknowledge on some level that I'm probably not going to get anywhere in terms of an audience. There are plenty of people who know I do the morning show, no one's tuning in. That's all right. I plan to build a number of tools. I want to have a food processing data catalog. I want to make music. I want to program video games. And I tend to operate in hyper surges. I'll work on something very intensely for a little while and then move on. I need to journal what I'm spending my hyper surges on, just for the sake of keeping track of my past.
As well as
provide outlets and connections for my streams so that they can see what's happening too. I want to make my progress. Oh, good morning, sir. Nice to see you again. I'm currently discussing my plans for the coming years. I've got to get after this for a while now. So, I was talking about the moon system, the fact that I'm on 8th moon. In other words, it's been 8 moons since June 30th, when I first discovered that my life was going to change all at once. And I am just now beginning 8th moon. I wish my notifications were a little louder. I was hoping I would be able to hear it when someone texted me. Fortunately, I saw it this time. What I have to do is set up equipment designed to make the most of my agency and willpower, which are both limited. As I talked about the other day, willpower is a set of chemicals that can run out. And once it's done, you're done. So I can use my agency as these morning show details become habit to develop new systems. And I can use willpower to bring myself to get used to them and develop them into habits, and hopefully they'll stick. I want to make a food processing catalog. I need to learn brickwork at some point, but that can be in a few months' time when it's actually warm enough to go outside and lay mortar. I've got to learn how to work with brick if I'm going to build a house from brick. So brickwork is on the agenda of things to pick up. You've got to learn that. Past that, there's video game development and other things. There might be someone in chat, there might not. I can't tell what's going on. It's nice to have somebody say hi, in any case. So, we're in the middle of 8th moon. And, just sort of coasting along here. We've got the mysterious music going on because I want to play various types of music too. I'd like to do karaoke. There's a lot of different interesting things that I could do. And I want to dig into them one by one. For that though, I'm going to need more tools. So I'm probably just going to keep my head down and work steady. All right, let's go over the idea of 8th moon. Maybe a bit of lag, but last year in June 30th, I had a premonition that the world was going to force me to move. I had spent the last 3 years as an overlord, developing a piece of land, working with ecology and economy together to live in comfort. But then all at once, my parents had to sell the piece of land due to taxes, property taxes in particular. I was alerted to this via an unusual thing that maybe I'll explain sometime later. Basically, I became aware that my life was going to change, and first moon began with the sudden awareness that I had to get going. By second moon, I was working out my plan, and by third moon, I had found my way into a new home at the Crescent Moon Temple, which is actually just a rather small apartment shaped like a crescent moon. Go figure. During the fourth moon, I became intensely sick as I became adjusted to my new surroundings. And during fifth moon, I entered a very dark place. It took most of sixth moon to drag myself back out. In seventh moon, I set up my show and started airing it. And now we're in eighth moon, which means it's time for the show to move forward. My journey through life will progress forward with the moons. I can say this much. The premonition showed me that this was going to continue for 36 moons. So, my current target is to have saved up enough, what is that? Oh, we're fine. To have saved up enough money to move into my new home by 36 moons. That's why I've nicknamed myself the Sage of 36 Moons. Like, what is a sage? Well, a sage is a person who uses wisdom and patience to spend almost no money while living in a hovel, doing almost nothing. Basically, a person who holds still. That's a good way to think of a sage. They come up with a lot of answers to problems because they ain't doing very much and their brains are working overtime. That's neat, but, tea. Now that helps. We're currently in 8th moon, which means we are pretty much past the prologue. Now it's time to get serious. So, as I was mentioning earlier in stream, Monday and Tuesday I'm going to be busy. Wednesday, I'm probably going to start development of some new stream tools that will enable me to do new segments and new and interesting things on my channel. I'll set up meters for my levels of drive, willpower, and agency. I might set up sheet systems to record my data for food processing. I might set up some calculative tools. I could build out some music frameworks or possibly some programming frameworks. The look and feel of this channel is going to change dramatically. Anyways, we can get past the edgy music now, I think. Kind of looping in the background, we've got this real ninja track playing. Let's just get back around to our usual morning show. There we go. Well, we can get a little further. Here's Kentaro Sato and the Budapest Symphony Orchestra performing Stardew Valley, which is the soundtrack to my life. There's got to be some special badge for this guy. This newbie ASF, he is the first chatter that I've ever had. He's my first regular. He is the first, the number one, the Primus. So we will keep careful track of history. Maybe I'll take every single person who ever enters my chat with an intention other than to spam and keep close track of them. Keep track of every single last one. Eventually, I'd like to get back to playing video games. I have a Minecraft server I'd like to restart. I have a super flat lava world that I'd like to reboot at some point. Might be fun for me. But to be able to just do that, I have to get everything else squared up. Because right now, it is super important that I save up money and deal with the universe. Ooh. Wow. Well, in order to monetize a channel, I have to have viewers. It's neat that you can do that with yours. I'm sure I don't have enough people for that. Still, if I could add activation points so that I could build new whiz-bang features. Well, I don't need points for that, do I? Maybe I can integrate with Twitch somehow and have lots of fun things that viewers can do, but most of the things that I've seen Twitch players do with their streams is throw stuffed animals at the streamer and make weird sound effects like some dude farting. Look, if I need a fart sound effect, I don't need a button, okay? I'm an old man. Farts happen. I want to have a very different system. I have ideas, mind you. Oh yes. There are things I can do. Points on predictions and whatnot. Very interesting. Right. It's all about engagement. I want to have things for my viewers to engage with. But most of the things that I see in this scope are a little on the silly side. So we'll see about that. Anyways, right now what I'm going to do is focus primarily on upgrading my own layout. So I'm not just talking into the box every single day and then logging off and then maybe playing blueprints later on. I'm tempted to play blueprints this morning, but I don't play blueprints in the morning. I always wait till I get home to play blueprints. I think I'm going to continue to do that. Anyways, I've mostly laid out my plans for the morning. How are things for you over there, newbie? How are things? What's going on in your neck of the woods? Since you're on the morning show now, what's good in your universe? All right. Well, good morning. We like waking up. That means that things aren't done yet. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. We managed to reach awake. Yeah, I never really intended to get popular doing this sort of thing, but it's always nice to have someone out there. Sure beats being alone by a mile. All right. Ghost of Yote, I hear that's a pretty good one. You gotta like those sword games with sword. It's good. You sword that thing, you sword this thing. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Well, I've been planning out my day for the last half an hour. I think I'll go ahead and jump and get to building. Thank you very much for tuning in. Nice to talk to you again this morning. Good to see you. I have some programming and sub work to do, and I'll see you again next time.